Mary Annie here. Welcome back to Tarot Together. My last video on the Fool's card. I titled this one Inspiration. The card is as much about energy and emotion as it is anything we formalize in an outlined way. When I was wanting to explore other ways to connect to the energy of a card outside of what was the result of my research encyclopedia kind of collection of information, I started collecting images that felt like the way I experienced the card. Much easier to do nowadays with the images at hand on the internet. The magazines I tore apart and cut and pasted into my journal when I was first doing this, but it's actually a delightful process to experience now. In future videos, at the end of each card, I'll share my inspirational sources, as I am going to in this video. But this one I wanted to explain how they came about, which is just going into the world of imagery, letting myself feel. If I see aspects of this particular card, for instance, as freedom and expansion, I look for images that supported that. Images that would then trigger emotions in me, that would connect me to the energy of the card without words. And then I also went in search for phrases and quotations regarding the attributes I had selected as important to me, representing the wisdom of the card. It's almost like using the power of words as poetry and inspiration, combined with poetry and inspiration that is beyond the need for words. I'm happy to share my inspiration, some of my inspirations for the Fool card with you. The images were all found online. I did my very best to identify where I located them, who their creators were, because I respect the talent and the art that's the result of these great photographers. My assumption, if I could not find an owner, is that they were in the public domain. If I have uploaded any photographs which you can lay claim to, please let me know. I hope you will enjoy some of the inspiration that moves me when it comes to the wisdom of the Fool's card. The happiest summer, dominated by the Fool in the tarot pack, whirling, timeless, joyful Fool, pure balance, clown, heaven and earth, scapegoat and ritual, sacrifice. Because he is the center of things and outside at the same time, he is pure balance, invisible. It is the seventh sense, the sense of balance. There's no word for it. Athletes know it. It is sensed, hardly registered, simply lived. In music, it is called true, pitched. We had it for a few months that first summer. Love was the Fool at the center of things, poised there, not hidden, but invisible. For fools rush in where angels fear to tread. He dares to be a fool, and that is the first step in the direction of wisdom. The great depend upon their heart, not on their purse. If a fool would persist in his folly, he would become wise. Any fool can turn a blind eye to reality. It takes a special kind of idiot, though, to ignore a dream. Walk on air against your better judgment. I'm not wise, but the beginning of wisdom is there. It's like relaxing into and an acceptance of things. That is the definition of faith. Acceptance of that which we imagine to be true, that which we cannot prove. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Maturity, one discovers, has everything to do with acceptance of not knowing. Let go of certainty. The opposite isn't uncertainty. It's openness, curiosity, and a willingness to embrace paradox rather than choose up sides. The ultimate challenge is to accept ourselves exactly as we are, but never stop trying to learn and grow. It wasn't that everything was going my way, but I began to believe that the way it was going was perfect. I accepted that where I was in life was exactly where I was supposed to be. In this moment, there is plenty of time. In this moment, you are precisely as you should be. In this moment, there is infinite possibility. I existed on my own terms. I was different my entire life. Some called me divergent, wild, crazy, unpredictable and unconformed, an apostate to the rules of the majority. I called myself God's creation and found purpose in the madness. When that day came, I did not allow other people to dictate how I should feel or act. I learned that there was no shame in imperfection because history has shown being different had the power to change perspectives and eventually the world. This is when I realized that flaws had responsibility. This was the day I learned I was truly blessed. Every act of rebellion expresses a nostalgia for innocence and an appeal to the essence of being. Innocence is one of the most exciting things in the world. The essential self is innocent, and when it tastes its own innocence knows that it lives forever. You were born a child of light's wonderful secret. You return to the beauty you have always been. I know we're not saints or virgins or lunatics. We know all the lust and lavatory jokes and most of the dirty people. We can catch buses and count our change and cross the roads and talk real sentences. But our innocence goes awfully deep, and our discreditable secret is that we don't know anything at all. And our horrid inner secret is that we don't care that we don't. Innocence is not pure so much as pleased, always expectant, bright-eyed, self-enclosed. Man is wise and constantly in quest of more wisdom, but the ultimate wisdom, which deals with beginnings, remains locked in a seed. There it lies, the simplest fact of the universe, and at the same time the one which calls forth faith rather than reason. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. What we call the beginning is often an end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. In the beginning, there was nothing, which exploded. And suddenly, you know, it's time to start something new and trust the magic of beginning. Begin, be bold, and venture to be wise. I might walk vast expanses of earth and always be beginning, and I love beginning, or could learn to love it. In the very center of your being, life begins in silence and in joy. Remember a moment of time, for it is the beginning of always. The earth provides us a brand new beginning every 24 hours. It is a repeated invitation to breathe in the cool morning air and start afresh, to mimic the sunrise and brighten up while reaching once more for the sky, to carry a glad song in our heart like the early birds, and as faithfully as the morning dew, to wash off the dust from yesterday. Beginning is scary, exciting, terrifying, and all things amazing. Begin even when you're not sure. What do you have to lose? It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. There will come a time when you believe everything is finished. That will be the beginning. I watch out my window as the planes take off into space. Oh, that I could fly away and start fresh. But I must realize that fresh starts also come in the pretty wrapped gift called tomorrow. Every day is a journey, and the journey itself is home. The only journey is the one within. We don't receive wisdom. We discover it for ourselves after a journey that no one can take for us or spare us. The truth is, of course, that there is no journey. We are arriving and departing all at the same time. I am bigger than the limits that are put on me. It all has to do with the individual journey. May your trails be crooked, winding, lonesome, dangerous, leading to the most amazing view. May your mountains rise into and above the clouds. It's when we're given choice that we sit with the gods and design ourselves. Remember that imagination is the faculty of the soul, and that when it suggests new pathways to us, we are being invited to explore the territory of the soul in ways that will certainly change and re-enchant us. Your work is to discover your world, and then with all of your heart, give yourself to it. Follow your bliss, and don't be afraid, and doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. True freedom is always spiritual. It has something to do with your innermost being, which cannot be chained, handcuffed, or put into a jail.